I know we're all crazy, I see the truth. Just look at your IG and see the proof. Nothing really matters right now. Attention's the new cash right now. And I'm watching people cash out and crash out. It's a war outside. And everybody acting like they don't see.
What's up? No, he's looking at his notes. He's looking at his notes, right?
He gotta put me on the spot too.
Got you. He's looking at the notes.
Oh yeah. I am. Yeah, I had to. You're feeling great, man.
Great. Thankful that we're here amidst all this craziness that's going on.
And we gotta be thankful for where we're sitting at right now. For those who are watching, we are not the same spot anymore, man.
Hey.
We are sitting in comfort right now, man.
And the battle right now is not getting too comfortable to where, we're in the middle of the...
No, man, but this is great, man. This feels like, yeah. Yeah. Have a conversation, like really just have a real, like, laid back combo, yeah. Feels good. Yeah, it was,
I had a good one. I had the comfortable one.
yeah,
Y'all were hurting.
we were the one that had to keep our balance because we didn't have nothing to put our elbows.
Yes.
Here we go. Appreciate that.
That's where I was gonna go. Like I feel like I'm worn out from resisting the constant content that's coming our way concerning this whole coronavirus thing. And not to say that we shouldn't hear it, that we shouldn't be informed, but it's always unhealthy when you have an overload of information, right? And we're hearing about this basically 24/7 right now. And then once the NBA canceled their season, then the NHL canceled their season, then the MLB canceled their season. Of course. But then once Tom Hanks and his wife got it, that was even out there even more.
That's what legitified for a lot of people. Like, oh my God, if they got it, oh, he's real now.
Forrest
like, really?
ain't running. Forrest ain't running. Yes. Yes.
That's too much, bro. That's too much.
A lot of scams. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what they say, clean your hands. If you're sick, stay your butt home. Worry about your parents in a sense, like keep them safe, keep them home, keep them, fed. Yeah, because hmm yeah. hmm And they're trying to keep everyone else safe and whole. I mean, it's crazy because it started off as something that was somebody else's problem. But just like, a lot of viruses, when viruses go viral, like this one just went viral. You can't hold it back. Like it kind of takes on a life of its own. Yeah. hmm hmm Yes. And it gets a life of its own. And sometimes I feel like a lot of these people sometimes aren't even ready for the fame that comes with something going viral like that. You know what I mean? Just like we weren't ready for Corona, a lot of these people aren't ready for that viral virus and the popularity that comes with it, and I'm sure a lot of them even get lost in that.
And some of them don't even want it because sometimes he happens by mistake. And but doing things that you didn't want it to go like that, but then
It's crazy, man. Mm, hmm hmm And like you said, some cry wolf, and something really happens, and they don't take them serious. People lose money, people lose family, people lose friends. What I feel goes on, with people that try to get that viral success. The wrong way is that they end up losing themselves in the process of trying to gain everything. They end up losing themselves, and I think it fits perfectly with something that Jesus tried to teach us in Scripture. He was talking to his disciples one day, and he asked them a question. And this is what I love about Jesus the most, is that the majority of his teacher was predominantly questions. He didn't tell you what to believe. He led you into belief. And one of the questions that he asked, he goes, what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world, yet loses his soul?
it's like for you to answer it. Like you got, it's like
It's powerful
Yeah, it
because
is.
he talks about gain, profit, and loss. Simple math. Gain, profit, and loss. The principles of success. Gain, profit, and loss. Why people try, attempt to go viral. Gain, profit, loss. It's the same words, but he uses them in talking about our soul, right? And when Jesus talked about the soul, he was talking about our mind, will, and emotions, right? Those are the components of our soul. Our mind, our thoughts, our will, what we do, what we don't do, and our emotions that get tied up in it all. So it goes, what does it profit a man if he does make that meme that goes viral? If he does create that video that everyone just happens to see? If she does post that one picture that makes everyone know what her body looks like? If she does go out there and she puts herself out there and now everybody knows her. What does it profit him or her if they gain all this recognition, but in the end they lose their soul, they lose their sanity, they lose their peace, they lose their identity, they lose their character, they lose their name? Because there's certain things you could come back from. But there's certain things that to come back from it, only God can bring you back from it. But sometimes, you put yourself out there to such a point that while God will always rescue you and save you, the consequences of certain decisions that we make, especially through social media, unfortunately, in today's age, they're almost irreparable. And we've seen, plenty of world star with their fights and people getting jumped and the craziness that they post. We have I'm trying to think of the other sources of, TMZ and some of the things that they post. That one I don't even know, and I probably don't want to know, right? That's awesome. You choose it. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I
spend time
love?
thinking about
There's a,
that
there's
stuff.
a little function that Instagram has now that I absolutely love. And you're gonna know my secret right now. Is this thing called mute, where you can mute their story or mute their whole feed altogether. And I just mute stuff. So I'm still following you. If I do want to check you out, like what Chico just said, if I do want to check you out, I can. But if I see someone's posting just way too much things that aren't healthy for me, like in my situation, right? Like I have a girlfriend. I don't need to be seeing somebody else's body all the time. You know what I'm saying? So if certain pictures are unhealthy for me, I can easily just mute it.
That's a
I
nice.
just mute it.
That's a nice. That's a nice way for you to if you're cool with somebody, but you're not that cool with somebody, but you don't want to unfriend them because you don't want to get their own idea. Like, I want to unfriend you because you're cool, but let me just mute you because I want to see your stuff. Yeah. You actually want to be notified when we post. You actually want to be notified.
But I looked up the definition for the word viral, right? Viral and virus, and the words that I came up, the definition that's given or the etymology of the word is a poisonous substance, a poisonous substance. So when you think about going viral or things of that nature, in its original form, it talks about being a poisonous substance, and it also says to melt away, to melt away. So when you look at what the word originally meant, it originally meant to melt away. We've made it something good, but originally it was something bad, right? And usually when we talk about a viral or words that include viral in it, we got viral diseases, right? We got viral or toxic relationships. Usually it's tied to something negative, but we found a way to make viral content something positive. But is it positive? Like if we would be able to talk to these people that have sold their soul for creating that one viral hit. Because I don't know many people that have multiple viral hits other than Kim Kardashian, and for all the wrong reasons, right?
Yeah.
Her husband has his few.
Yeah.
But we
Took the mic.
with Taylor Swift, so it's usually for the wrong things. So here we have these kids and these people selling their souls for that one viral hit, not understanding that those that did get viral hits didn't want them. How about Jordan with the tears? How is that?
And,
How
be,
is it? How?
and that and that got him like real good popularity from everybody. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yes. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. Takashi 669. You know, we could the people. How about the people that started recording themselves licking ice cream, closing it, putting it back in? Now they're doing jail time for this nonsense. You know, because they were recording it, but it's the same thing. They're trying to make a video go viral. You're doing something
You're
unhealthy,
incriminating
unsanitary
yourself.
that can get somebody else sick.
Yeah.
And now, ultimately, you know, because you posted a video of your face, now you know you can be charged with a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
So it's like you're risking your job, you're risking your real life for likes or attention that isn't really attention. You don't even know these people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. Ah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like, to them, it's okay.
It's
Like
it's
okay, like okay.
crazy.
If they get this much attention, this must be okay. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's so big, man. And that's super important, you know, what you just mentioned, you know, the loss. Like there's way too many times that we're not calculating that part of it. You know, anyone that goes into business, because like you said, a lot of these kids are doing it because they're trying to think in a business way, which is good. You know, we have a lot of kids growing up that they're trying to find a different stream of income or a different method to use you know, to get towards wealth. And you know, unfortunately, what they're not calculating is that you have to calculate the gains and the losses. And both of those things both of those things factor into the equation of what's going to give you your profit.
You gotta weigh it out.
But if your profit is more loss than it is gain, especially if that loss is your soul, is the core of your being, then is it really worth it? Is it really worth losing real relationships for people you don't even know? Is it really worth not giving the attention to the person that's sitting right across the table from you because you're so busy worrying about, you know, your phone and the likes that you want to get from somebody that you're never probably gonna really have access to.
It's all about the numbers.
It's crazy, and you know, and again, you're so worried about numbers of you know, and I wrote this down. One of the reasons seeking viral relevance can be damaging is that it places all of its attention on being relevant to people that hold no relevance personally. They don't know you, you don't know them. They don't pay your bills, you don't pay their bills. They don't keep you warm at night, you don't keep them warm at night. You know, but I mean, I know husbands and wives that don't pay attention to their spouses because they're busy out there trying to get that Instagram fame or that Facebook fame if they're a little bit older. You know, so it's like, what are y'all doing really? Like what's important for you? We forget. You know, and it's funny because you'll see their videos on Instagram and they'll be talking about family, but it ends up becoming the family that they're ignoring to try to teach somebody about family and wasting all of this time and energy over the 30 likes that they get. And maybe they're lucky they get a 300 likes. Maybe they're luckier and they paid $29.99 to get 1,000 fake likes. You know, who knows? Because people just go to these extremes to put up this front that ultimately costs you more than, and it's sad because when we don't know our worth, we end up selling ourselves at a price that is way below the value that we place on ourselves. You know, so it's like you go into it looking at yourself as a fine product, right? Because if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to waste time doing this. But you end up cheapening the product so much that it's like when something goes on sale because nobody's buying it. That's what we do with our lives. We put ourselves so you know, we keep taking value off of ourselves, and we put ourselves on this shelf, and they didn't buy us on this shelf, so I'm going to demean myself a little bit more and let me put myself on this shelf. They didn't value me on this shelf, let me demean myself a little more and put myself on this shelf. So yeah, so it's like I started at a boutique, but now I'm at a thrift shop. Because I've lost the value of who I was, right? Shakespeare said, Shakespeare wrote one time, "To thine own self be true." And we need to get, you know, our audience to, and even ourselves, man, because I've fallen into this plenty of times as well, where what becomes the most important, what at one time what was important for me was feeling like I had that affirmation that social media seems to give you, but it's fake. Because if it was real and it was real relationship, they would have been there when I didn't have that, when I didn't have those opportunities, right? And this is when you know what's what. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's scary.
Think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can have dinner with your girl, you know, without the attention.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
and
even when
it's
you're
you.
doing, even when you're doing something positive, though, sometimes people still gonna criticize. That happens a lot. Like people that are doing great things, but there's always gonna.
I'm kidding. True to you.
Yeah.
Yes. And it becomes complicated. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes
And it's
people like to press up. I'm sorry. Some people like to like give negative comments in order for them to get like a little clout too. Cause like sometimes when you do that on Instagram and you, yeah, no, that happens. That or sometimes you can't. Yeah, those are funny. Sometimes some of them be funny, and sometimes you comment something, and if you're doing it somebody's famous page, you get likes because you know how sometimes you can like somebody's comment. Some people get like hundreds of likes and hundreds of people commenting underneath. That's a method of getting attention as well. So some people get clout just by commenting on other people's stuff.
it's so true.
Yeah,
Captions.
yeah,
I mean, they make games, right? They make games off of these memes and trying to create a clever
Yeah, yeah.
like the game that we were playing that time. That was super funny.
The meme.
memes.
yeah.
So we see that, but what happens when your life becomes a meme? Like there's no real moments. It's just these little things that happen along the way that you try to kind of maximize, but it's not really you. So then when somebody finally meets you, there's no peace within you. Like what Rafi was saying, when someone criticizes you, but you're living your truth, you're good. Like, okay, criticize me because at least I'm living my truth. But when you're not living your truth, when you're faking the funk, when you fronting, when you're not, that's not really you. You're just trying to get that clout. Like, you're just trying to get that recognition. You're just trying to get them props. Like all of a sudden, you become a prop in your own life. You know what I mean? And that's crazy. When you become kind of an aspect of your life, because you become so fake, you don't even know what you're about anymore. It's crazy. It's like God designed us to be the star of the show, but we're satisfied with being a commercial in between. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is,
like he's saying you're the star of your life, but we're so busy pretending and acting that what was meant to be, our life story just became a commercial of different products that we saw along the way that we were trying to sell.
People want temporary high. It's so about temporary high sometimes,
And what God desires from us, what God wants from us is not a temporary high, right? He doesn't want us to leave from dopamine experience to dopamine experience. What Jesus desires from us is for us to live a lifestyle or a life of continuous blessing, a life of continuous impact, a life of continuous influence and growth and prosperity and blessing. That's God's desire for us, right? The Bible says the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, right? Talking about the enemy, but I have come so that you may have life. But if we define life as going viral, but Jesus says no, life is a consistent flow, not a moment of viral. And that's why the Apostle Paul in one of his letters to one of the churches in Romans, he says, do not be shaped by this world. Instead, be changed within by a new way of thinking. Then you will be able to decide what God wants for you, and you will know what is good and pleasing to him and what is perfect. But there's no way to be changed from within if all of our attention is without or outside of us. right? And one of the things that I found in trying to do research for today's talk is a quote I found by this lady named Jean Boudreau. I probably butchered her name, but she said the human mind is a pure screen, a switching center for all the networks of influence. So think about like when you go to these media places, right, that they got all these screens and they're able to choose which one to focus on because they feel that one, like yesterday, there was an epic scene where Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, gets the email that says take all the players off the floor. We're ending the season until we deal with this coronavirus. Well, the director of the media program or the basketball game had the camera right on him when he got that, so he got that pure emotion when Mark Cuban was like, "Oh wow." Like it was captured, right? So when we begin living this fake life where we're willing to lose our soul, we get to that place where we're willing, we just don't care because we just want that viral hit, that attention that we've been seeking. What ends up happening is, okay, we're trying to catch ourselves in that moment. So instead of living from within, it's almost like we float outside of ourselves and we're holding a camera to see how good we're acting. But God doesn't want us to act, He wants us to live. And it's two different things. You know, if you're constantly worried about how the picture, you know, the latest picture is coming out, then you're off. If we're constantly worried more about others than we are about ourselves and our character, there's something off, right? Because you can be a person of character or you can be a character.
And we tend to be mostly a
characters, because that's what the ideology of today is. You know, be a character, get these likes, and you'll be happy. But how many of you know? I mean, Robin Williams. Nobody was getting more likes than Robin Williams, more awards than Robin Williams, but he was not happy.
Yeah.
And there's just so many people. But then we got Jim Carrey, who was getting all the accolades, was getting all these likes, and he was really happy. But now he's taken his life and he says, okay, now I want to be kind of an activist, a mental activist kind of, if we can put it that way. And now he's trying to influence people a different way, right? Jim Carrey's dropping bombs that if you haven't been up on him, like he's trying to change people's minds now.
I think that's what he did different from this guy too. Who was it him that you mentioned before?
Robin Williams?
Robert Williams, yeah. Like, I think that's why he did different from him. I feel like he actually took the time to stop.
Yes.
He didn't even act for a while.
Yes.
He actually went within.
Yes.
Instead of just keep looking outside of himself the whole time. I just feel like that might have played a part as well.
And maybe that's what somebody in our audience needs to do. Like maybe what you need to do if you find yourself lost in this social media world to the point where you've kind of almost forgotten who you're supposed to be, who you want to be,
because you feel like you gotta keep up.
Yeah, like slow down, slow down, take a break. Like I thank God that you know I'm surrounded with you guys because I feel like you guys are genuine. But I you know, and I've seen how you guys are willing to slow down. Like you went to freaking Ecuador to slow down. You know, you took a break and went to the Poconos to slow down. Like you guys are willing to pause, right? Put the car on neutral. It's still moving a little bit, but put it on neutral. Let me see where I'm headed. Let me see which is the right direction, and then let me take off that way. You know, and sometimes in life we're going so fast that we're missing all the sights, we're missing the journey, we're missing the true purpose of the journey in trying to get to the destination. You know, but what if you get to the destination and then realize that that's not where you were supposed to end up because you missed a turn along the way?
The journey was supposed to be the pleasure, the fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
I got a feeling it's gonna be me maybe one day. No lie,
It's
man.
crazy.
It happens though. It's like sometimes it just gets so cut off. Like,
And look at people that are truly successful, not the wannabe, not the pretenders. People that are true, the Steve Jobs of the world, the Phil Knights of the world, the oh my gosh, what am I thinking about? Phil Knight, Steve Jobs. I mean, the guy from Netflix, Randolph, the Mark Randolphs of the world, like. Yeah, Bezos from Amazon, like all of these people that are truly successful, that everyone in our audience knows who they are. You know, when we talk about Apple, you know who founded Apple. When we talk about, you know, Microsoft, you know Bill Gates. When we talk about Amazon, you know Bezos. When we talk about Randolph, you know Netflix. Like these are all things that are household things, right? But all of these people we just mentioned, they could care less about social media fame. They could care less about a post that went viral.
yeah, they don't.
Their whole thing was, I want to create something that will change the world. Yeah, that doesn't matter to them. What matters to them is being true to themselves, being true to their mission, and then moving forward in that dream and in that vision, right? And for them, going viral, I feel that for a lot of these people that are successful, going viral for them has more to do with the behind the scenes than with what's on the scene.
Yeah. What's on
And-
the scenes
and-
is due to what happens behind the scenes.
Exactly. And they take their time with that, right? Like these things that we feel like came on the scene. Like I remember when Netflix was sending DVDs in an envelope. You know what I mean? I was like, a penny? Well, what are you talking about?
When they were like a vending machine once too.
Think about it.
they're like a vending machine.
And there was no social media. There was no, you know, they did it the old-fashioned way, and they went about it that way. And look at today. Like they took Blockbuster out.
Yeah.
Out. like there's one Blockbuster still that exists. That's it
Alaska. I think it's Alaska.
in Washington, right?
Washington?
Like that's
It was
the
like Alaska,
only
yeah.
one. And it's funny because Randolph said he wants to visit there and remind them the mistake that they made because he's kind of petty. But just think about these people like Mark Randolph. He stepped back. Netflix is running. He's not even a part of it anymore. Because he's like, I did what I felt I was brought here to do.
Yeah.
He did it, and he stepped back. Stepped back with some millions, but you know what I mean?
That's a
But he
great way to
stepped
step. I'll step back too.
That is what success is. You know, so I would tell, you know, our audience that's trying to go viral is think about these words that Jesus taught us in Luke's gospel. What good is it to gain the world and lose your soul? What good is it? What will it profit you if you lose yourself? What will it profit you if you lose your relationships? What will it profit you if you lose your purpose? What will it profit you if you lose your name for an Instagram post? You know, I see these young girls nowadays that they're willing to go to whatever extremes to try to get as many likes as they can. For what? For what? Like?
So some people, and I just won't put women in that category, just anybody, you get sponsorship,
But how many truly are getting that stuff? Like, let's say.
Some do
what
do
I'm
it,
saying
but a lot
is-
of them don't. A lot of them just do it for the clout. And you can obviously tell that. Like some girls I've been seeing, they have like 6,000 likes or 11,000 likes, but,
But
they
I'm
don't
saying
have
like
no
the
promotion. It's just
percentage of the
themselves.
people that actually get that sponsorship, the percentage of the people that actually get that is so low.
Still, yeah.
So we got these young men and young ladies, you know, that they have this pipe dream, right? Because they're not committed to it. They're not committed to it, and not only committed to it, but I mean, who really wants to be committed to being someone that portrays themselves as trashy or classless or you know, really not about anything? Like that's not. No one is born with that dream. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like they end up there, like we said in the beginning of the program, you know, because they're seeking to be viral. They're not thinking ahead to what that implies.
Like some women, they use it well. some men too, like Chico was saying, like some of them use sponsorships and they know how to remove themselves, and they use social media for the right purposes. But some people, you could obviously tell that they just want to show off their body or to show off whatever they got going on or whatever the case may be, and it just seems so shallow. Like those people, for some reason, I just feel like they have little to no substance just because they just promoting their body and that's it.
They lose their authenticity in the process of trying to get that viral hit. You know what I mean? They lose their authenticity. I like what Brené Brown says. She says, authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we really are. But it's a daily thing.
Yeah, I was going to say,
it's a daily thing. You have to wake up with intent. You have to wake up with purpose. You have to wake up with this strong desire that God created me in his image and in his likeness. The Bible also says that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. You know, I know this. So when you know this, you're not seeking to pretend to be someone in order to get attention. You understand that you're already on stage. Why? Because you're created in God's image, in God's likeness. You don't have to be anything that you aren't for anyone. You know, this is why we have, unfortunately, so many people dealing with, bulimia, others with obesity. Why? Because, someone told you were too big or someone told you were too thin. So for the one that they told you were too thin, now you're battling obesity. They told you were too big, now you're dealing with bulimia. Why? All with trying to please someone that probably isn't even in your life anymore.
Yeah.
But if we understand who we really are, because we got young men that are bullied all the time. They end up hustling just to be able to keep up with the Joneses and have enough sneakers or have the right sneakers and the right clothes and the right label and the right hoodie and the right coat and the right whatever, just trying to keep up, trying to be viral, trying to be talked about, trying to be liked, trying to be that person. And it wears you out.
Back in the day, your viral moments was
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, back in the day, you technically being viral doesn't necessarily have to only be social media. It could just be in your circle. It could be somebody. It could be outside. Whatever. Right. Yeah.
Yes.
And those who were naturally funny, they didn't use other people for their jokes. Like some people, they were trying at the expense of, exactly. Some people that were trying they were funny at the expense of other people, and that was just sad. Like you could tell that they weren't generally funny. They were just trying to be funny to get their attention.
And it's just a matter of finding your true genius, finding your true gifting, finding your place in the world. But we're not going to find our place in the world by constantly visiting somebody else's place and trying to be them in their place. You know what I mean? Like I can't be Chico. Like I wish I was as cool as you. But I'm me. Right? Like you have your own swag, I have my own way, you have yours, I have mine, and together we bring it all together, right? When Fernando's here, he has it. Together we just do something that I feel is impacting people. You know what I mean? But if I pretend to be someone that I'm not and I lose myself, like I'm powerful when I'm me. That's when I'm powerful. That's when I'm the most confident, is when I'm me. But when I'm trying to be somebody else, I get nervous. I feel like I'm walking on thin ice. Like I'm. Yeah, and I'm like, yo, somebody's gonna know I'm fronting. Somebody's gonna know I'm talking about something that I'm not comfortable talking about. Somebody's gonna know that this is not my thing. But this is my thing. Like when it comes to Jesus, I'm not saying Jesus is my thing, but I'm so passionate about him. I'm so in love with him that when I talk about him, it comes out. and I'm able to connect dots and things of that nature, but I gotta stay in my zone. I gotta stay in my lane,
'Cause then it's when you
right?
speak with authority.
It's like a horse, right?
Yeah.
When you put a horse to race against other horses, they put the blinders on because they don't need the horse to see the horses that are next to them. They need the horse to look at his lane, to look at the finish line that's before him. Because as long as the horse is looking at the finish line that's before him, he has a greater opportunity to win. We have an opportunity to win. Our audience has an opportunity to win, to be able to say, I gained the world and kept my soul. Therefore, life for me has been a profit. I'm able to say that only when I understand that, number one, like my soul's been given to me by God. I have to take care of my mind. I have to take care of my will. I have to take care of my emotions because together they comprise my being. This is who I really am. This outside shell is going to wear away.
Yeah.
Right? Like you guys look cool, but maybe at 30, like you can't eat the way you've
Don't
been
look
eating.
at me. Don't look at me.
You can't eat the way you've been. Damn, I'm blessed, kid.
He looked at me right away too. I'm like, oh, you don't look at me for, man.
But then
I'm
at
still
40,
5 years away.
yo, guys, okay, let's go to 40. I promise you, when I turned 40, on my birthday, when I turned 40, I promise you, like, I don't know if it was a psychological thing, but I woke up and I felt like my knees hurted. My elbows hurt. I'm like, nah, you bugging right now. Like I went to the gym immediately to prove myself false, right? But it's like, things
Yeah, they
change.
change.
You know what I
You
mean?
start changing. Your body
But
start
the
changing.
core of you doesn't have to.
At all.
Right, and life has battled me. I've made some bad decisions along the way that have challenged my core. But at my core, that there's certain things that are at my core, right? And at my core, like I believe what God has said about me consistently is that I got a good heart, right? But my heart causes me to make bad decisions at times because I care too deeply about things and too long about things that I shouldn't. Right? The Bible says, protect your heart above all things, for from it streams life. So we protect our reputation more than we protect our heart. And that's when we get in trouble. We protect our fame more than we protect our heart. And that's when we get in trouble. Right? Because my life is flowing from my heart, not from my likes. Right? And this is why, when you look at Facebook and Instagram, what they have is a heart. Why? Because they want us to believe that that's where our heart is.
Yo.
That's not
profound.
But that's not where it is.
Yeah.
We have to take
That
our
is.
heart back from social media and say,
really
no,
like
it's
part of
not
the title.
there.
Yeah.
It's not there. It's here.
On our Instagram. No, you see, I thought you said like. But I said it on our Instagram. On our Instagram, you gotta go like. Yeah.
Because, and I mean, when you think about it, like a lot of times we end up going back, and it's almost like this is habitual. It's a habit. Like, have you ever liked something? You're like, oh, like.
And oh, that didn't mean to like that. No,
Because
You take it back.
it becomes that habit. You know what I mean? And the only way to break a habit. Wow, you remember? It's so true.
Yeah, for real.
Because there's no unlike button.
Yeah.
Like,
Do I want to like that? Do I want to like?
especially with Instagram, it doesn't give you the option of the
At
sad
least Facebook
face.
gives you the little tear
Yeah,
face. So
yeah,
Facebook,
yeah,
I can do a tear face. Oh.
How about on Facebook? Did you ever put the wrong emoji? Like you meant to put
Yeah.
the crying face and you put the laughing one by mistake? Like that's happened to me.
That has
I'm like,
happened to
"Oh
me
my
too.
God."
Oh, I gotta change it real quick. Real quick.
But that's what kind of life becomes when we don't understand the importance of keeping our soul, protecting our soul,
Yes.
Allowing our soul to have the rest and the security and the peace of knowing that I'm being real to me. And at the end of the day, if you don't like me, unfortunately, like my past relationship, I lost so many parts of me. in trying to make someone else happy. You know, and at the end of the day, not only did that relationship wear itself out, but then that person made a mockery of the person I pretended to be to try to keep her happy. You know, not understanding like that wasn't me to begin with. I wasn't that person. I was that person trying to help you. But that's what life ends up becoming. When we're not careful in protecting ourselves and protecting our heart.
And then we get mad at ourselves because we were
Bro,
was like, damn, I
so good. We end up, you know, pissed at ourselves because we're like, yo, like, I wasn't even that person to begin with. And now you're trying to put me on blast. But you know what? You can let them put you on blast because you understand that's not you anyway. So the person they're putting on blast ain't even you. So they're not even talking about you. You know what I'm saying? So you begin to have peace and you get that flow back. You get that swag back. You get that confidence back because you understand now I'm moving in me.
Yeah.
Right. And what ends up happening when you move in you, the universe brings what's supposed to be yours.
Yep.
Right. And so you attract what you are, not what you want.
Yeah.
So if you want to attract something different, inspect who you are. Be comfortable with who you are. Be confident with who you are and who God made you to be. And what end up happening, God begins to attract. And you end up realizing, man, I'm attracted to what's attracted to me. I'm attracted to this. Why? Because I know what I deserve now. You put yourself back up there, right? And that's the blessing, right? And it's like you don't lower your value ever again once you've been through that process. You don't lower your value. You're like, nah, like I'm not gonna lose my soul ever again. Ever again. Why? Because I know that my life depends on it. You know, and like I love these talks, man, because we talk from these different angles, like and so much stuff that I end up writing on this thing we don't even talk about, and because that's what a conversation should be. That's what communication is all about, right? Like communication has that word commune in it. And it's like we should be going somewhere. If it's communication, it should be going somewhere. Yes. If a talk isn't going anywhere, it's not communication. It's stagnant. It's dry. It's dead. And we're trying to like help our audience as much as we can. We're trying to encourage you guys. We're trying to be a blessing to you guys through our missteps, through our mistakes, through some of the lessons we've had to learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you might not. You might be going through whatever the case is, because we're all in different phases of our lives. You know, certain things that I'm going through right now, for example, you could experience tomorrow, whatever the case is, but I'm already experiencing that area. The same thing with you, vice versa. So I feel like, you know, everybody's in different stages. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The things that we talk about here, I feel like it could be suitable for everybody.
Yes. Good stuff.
Yeah. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah. And just being better. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Let's go.